Okay, YouTube, because I looked so pretty, I decided to make another video. What I want to talk to you guys about today is something that I am very familiar on and something that I really enjoy reading about and getting into. I don't know if any of my fan base enjoys it, but I do. So we're going to get right into it, and we're going to talk about the Enneagram. What type am I on the Enneagram? I am a 5-wing 4. I say this a lot, that the 5 is the one that I think everyone kind of wants to be in a way. You see a lot of people trying to convince you that they're a 5, but a 5 is usually someone in the back of the room that isn't saying anything at all. If we were in a room, you and me and a whole load of other people, chances are I would not be dressed like this. Chances are I would be in the back of the room trying not to gather any attention, and if I was dressed in some sort of very strange and unique type of manner, I would still be very standoffish unless you asked me about some of my interests. Then I would have a whole well of knowledge to dump on you at once. It's almost too hard for people to take in. So as a 5, you spend a lot of time alone, and you spend a lot of time honing these qualities and honing these skills, because what you lack in social interaction you seem to make up in your sort of observing the world, gathering skills, if you may, in a way almost to protect yourself. For the 5, the world outside is a scary and unpredictable place, and so the 5 gathers knowledge. Its sole sin is avarice. The I can't get enough. I have to hoard this knowledge. I have to hoard myself. The idea of letting you know me, to me, is a scary, unpredictable, almost terrifying thought. So to a 5 sort of holds people at arm's length. I will let you into so much information, but some information I keep for myself. We have greed less in the way of money, more in the way of my time, my effort, my feelings, my thoughts. I will keep those to myself and lock them in a little box so that you can't understand. We have also this really big predisposure to being very logical thinking, being people who are more into the logical side of it than the feelings. A lot of times I don't connect with people when their feelings are really up and overwhelming, and when mine get that way, I don't think anyone can take me, because when a 5 pushes and pushes and pushes and pushes it down, when it comes up, it's this big giant thing. And like I said, to let you know me is terrifying for me. So when that happens, it's even more terrifying than trying to push it down. The life of a 5 is a rather lonely one. However, you are very lucky if you end up finding someone who can partake in certain interests with you. 5s don't usually have a lot of friends who don't partake in their interests, because a 5's conversational skill is limited to that they know a lot. I learned this much so that the world knows that I am good at something and I am useful for something, and that makes the world just a little more predictable. A 5 also has a huge need for independence. I want to be here, and I want you close, but I don't want you too close, if that makes sense. We want to be completely free, completely self-sufficient, and when a 5 does not feel self-sufficient, it is the most unhealthy for a 5. A 5 can get to a point where they're very nihilistic, passive-aggressive. They can get to a point where they're delusional. They are people who are predisposed to things like bipolar, schizophrenia, people whose minds wander. My choices of dress and my choices of things that I do, the art and the venturing out into social media and trying to become like sort of an influencer, is more of my 4-wing. A 4 has this giant internal struggle. They want to fit somewhere, but at the same time, they don't want to lose their individuality. I am different, therefore I'm special, is the ideology of the 4. The struggle mostly is, like I said, they want to fit in, but at the same time, they don't want to compromise themselves. They love that idea of take me as I am. A 4 is very theatrical. A 4's world is just as deep as a 5's world. It's just more sociable. So when you see someone who's a 5-6, you're going to get like your tech people, you're going to get like your accountants, you're going to get people who are super good at very logical, sciencey type things. When you have a 5-4, on the other hand, you're going to get people who are more into art, people who are into like the macabre, people who are very sparkly and big and huge personalities, but at the same time, they are also very withdrawn, and they will only let you into certain parts of themselves, and most of the part of themselves that they will let you into is a mask. They're always on a stage. Life is a giant stage. As you can tell, when you have these two types together, it's a very, very conflicting type to have. It's almost as if wanting to be social, wanting to be different, but desperately watching the world from a window and wanting to be in it, but being way too afraid to partake. 5-4s, I honestly think, and this is me speaking for me, I honestly think a lot of our problem is trying to get out into the world. And I think based on parts of my life where I was the healthiest, I think that once you do get past past that initial fear of this is an unpredictable and unsuspecting place, you become healthier and you start to heal a little bit. But if you have any other questions about the Enneagram, I can let you know. At some point, I'll do a video on JD. He is a type 7. If you want to know what your type is, let me know. I will have a test in the comments. You can send me your results or you can interpret them yourself. It's up to you. I will do videos on each different type and I will talk about different characteristics of each type.